Likelihood Pinery Residences will be launched from 2,300 PSF to 2,500 PSF. So the main question here today is Pinery Residences overpriced, and why is the whole entire Tampines and also Pasir Ris area prices for the resale project also increasing? Is everyone missing about the crazy prices for the Pinery Residences? Why are the prices still climbing? This is something that I will share with you in today's videos. If you're someone considering about the Pinery Residences, whether is it for staying or investment, or considering whether you should buy a nearby resale project, definitely you should watch to the end of the video, because I'll be sharing with you some real life case studies in terms of the projects for the Tampines and also the Pasir Ris area in the whole entire East area, and why Pinery Residence is something that you may want to reconsider if you're looking at a specific budget. So in today's video, I'll be sharing you a brief introduction about the Pinery Residences, then about the Tampines over demand and limited supply situation right now in the whole entire Tampines. This is something that you might not be familiar and you might not be aware, but it have already happened in the Tampines market, and that's why you can see that the prices are still climbing in the Tampines area, followed by a real life case study of the Treasure at Tampines and also the Pasir Ris 8. And based on the real life case study, is it worth it considering the Pinery Residences, and what is a safer entry price for you today? Before I share with you more about the unit mix about the Pinery Residences, the pricing that will happen for the Pinery Residences, and also a summary and some tips for you at the end of the video, so you should definitely watch to the end of the video. If you have not already done so, please help me to follow my Telegram group chat over here, whereby I will share with you more about the market news updates and things that you should be aware of when you're entering into the Singapore property market. So this is some brief information about the Pinery Residences project. This is a project by two developers, which is Hoi Hub and also Sunway, and this will actually be a mixed-use development project, meaning it comprises of not just the residential component. So in fact, it will comprise of the commercial component, and this will be called the Pinery Mall. The details have been confirmed that the Pinery Mall will be at level 1 and it will not be for sale. So total it will be around 11,150 square meter, and this is equivalent to around 10% smaller than the Parktown's mall. So approximately a total of around 50 to 60 retail partners. So right now what have been confirmed is that there will be a kopitiam, there will be NTUC, childcare, and some tuition center and some reputable brands, and the mall will be managed by the CBRE. So in total, in terms of residential component, there will be a total of 588 units, and this will actually make out 6 blocks of 14 stories starting from level 3 itself. So level 1 is actually the mall, level 2 is the car park, and level 3 and on top that will be the residential for the Pinery Residences. There will also be an underground pedestrian link that will be open for the whole entire 24 hours to make it more convenient for the residences and also for owners staying around the area. And in total, we have 80% car park lot, which will be 474, and this is usually more than sufficient given that this location is very close to the MRT station. So likelihood this project will TOP around 2029 in Q4, and this is the estimated date given by the developer at this point of time. So if you're not familiar with Pinery Residences location, no worries, it's actually right next to the Tampines West MRT station that you have seen over here, and in terms of the location itself, it's actually 1 kilometer to many reputable schools. So this includes the St. Hilda's Primary School over here, and it also includes the Temasek Poly that is around the area. And a lot of people that are staying around the Tampines area, in fact, they do love this location due to the convenience to the amenities and also schools. If you're looking at Tampines West itself, within one MRT station, you'll also reach the Tampines MRT station, and this will bring you to even more amenities, including the Tampines 1 Mall, the Tampines Mall, Century Square. So there's a lot of facilities around the area. So Safra and also Tampines Hut, definitely in terms of amenities in the area, this is something that a lot of families love. So I do see a lot of families profile be interested in this Pinery Residences, and you could be one of them. So definitely this is something to keep a lookout if you're already staying around the area, or if you want to buy in a location that is very convenient for own stay and also for families. So when I share with you that Tampines is actually one of the area that have limited supply and over demand for the area in terms of the condominiums, this is exactly why. So can you guess where is the most populated area in town for Singapore? There are a few areas, but the top 5, which one is it? So we can see over here, in fact, the number 1 ranking for the most populated town in Singapore is actually the Tampines area. Then 2, we have the Bedok area, which is also in the east side. 3, Sengkang. 4, Woodlands. 5, Jurong West. So you can see that these areas have a lot of population in the area, and if you are talking about based on the top 5, 2 of it is already in Bedok and in Tampines. Am I right to say that east side is more matured and we do have a fair number of population in the east region? So let me share with you why there's so many population. So at a glance, where is the Pinery Residences? It's actually bottom over here in red, and we are actually right next to the MRT station over here. And being a mixed use that is linked to the MRT and also having a mall itself, this will also give more convenience to the nearby HDB owners over here. So at a glance, what we can see is many other red dots, and these actually represent a HDB block. So this entire map over here, it shows and tells you the current HDB around the area in Tampines West, whereby there is a lot of population. And of course, these Tampines projects, they have MOP in different dates, and number of years left for these projects actually varies depending on the sector and cluster that they are at. But this is just on top of Pinery Residences. We do see a lot of HDB clusters. Next, what we can see is at the bottom of Pinery Residences over here, there is also a lot of HDB clusters that will MOP soon, and in total, there will be more than 4,000 MOP units that will MOP soon after you collect the key in 2029. So what we can see here is, for example, Tampines Green Gem MOP in 2026 with a total of 926 units, Tampines Green Jade, which will MOP here in 2033, Tampines Green Emerald, which will MOP in 2030, Tampines Green Opal, that will MOP in 2030, Tampines Green Quartz, that will MOP in 2032. This is a total of 1411 units over here. And then the Tampines Green Topaz, that will TOP in 2033. Wow. At a glance, we do see that there's a lack of condo supplies around the area, because what we can see is on top of Pinery Residences, there's so many HDB potential buyers and upgraders, and also at the bottom of Pinery Residences, there's a lot of newer MOP units that will be coming out into the market right after you collect a key. So these could also be your potential buyers. And how about the other parts of Tampines? So earlier we were at Tampines West MRT station, and right now we'll talk about the Tampines North. So you also see that on Tampines North, there's a lot of HDB around the area, and some of these HDBs, they are also one of the newer MOP ones. You can see the prices are also very healthy, around 820,000 for both the 4 and 5 bedroom, and the 5 bedroom hitting 970,000 for the Tampines Green Reaches. So am I right to say that Tampines is overpopulated and there's a lot of potential demand and upgraders from this HDB, because there's a limited supply in Tampines condos, and also right now we do see that a lot of the HDB owners are making huge profits on their HDB itself. So how much HDB profits are these HDB upgraders earning? Let me just share with you a quick example based on 4 bedroom and 5 bedroom. So based on 4 bedroom and 5 bedroom, I'll be taking an example from Greenwave, Tampines. This was built in 2015 and actually TOP around 2019, which means they actually MOP around 2024, depending on when they collect the keys. These HDBs have already been having a healthy volume of transactions. So when this BTO was first launched, how much it was launched at? It was launched from 281,000 for 4 bedroom, and also launched from 375,000 for 5 bedroom. First of all, you can see the average price of the HDB around the area have already increased, and there's a range depending on the floor level and also the facing. And based on this average price and also the HDB purchase price, what we can calculate is the estimated proceeds, which means the amount of cash and CPF left. So after these owners have exited from the HDB, there's a lot of cash and proceeds. Because the Tampines area is matured and very convenient, the HDB prices around the area have been growing very fast, and the estimated profits for the 4 bedroom will be around 670,000, and for 5 bedroom around 740,000. So with this amount of cash and CPF after you exit safely from the HDB, am I right to say that the HDB upgraders, they do have sufficient cash and they do not need to touch into your savings to upgrade into a condo? So we'll see an example from the Pinery. So for example, for the Pinery 3 bedroom and 807 square feet, which is after harmonization, if the price is from 2,300 PSF, the price will be around $2.34 million. If Pinery sells the 3 bedroom at $2.34 million, what will be needed will be the down payment of 25% and also the buyer stamp duty of around 5%, and in total this will be around $671,000. So we also can see that the HDB upgraders, they do have sufficient cash to buy a Pinery Residences if they are very familiar with the area and they want to continue stay around the Tampines West MRT. While the HDB upgraders in Tampines, they really have a lot of buying power and are very fortunate that their BTO are making a very healthy amount of profits, which allow them to upgrade safely into a condo today. That's why you might be thinking that, oh, the prices is something that cannot be accepted by the market. Then again, the number of MOP flats and the number of HDB units in the whole entire Tampines area tells us that there are a lot of potential buyers from the Tampines area that are looking for condo, but there's really a lack of supply of Tampines condos around the area, and that's why even if Pinery developer were to be asking for these prices, there is a chance that the nearby owners are able to buy into Pinery without extra cash from their savings right now. So do you still think that the Pinery Residences is overpriced? Later on, I will share with you more using case studies from also the Treasure and also the Pasir Ris 8 so that you can understand more about the pricing for the Tampines and also the east side condos in the area. So I've already shared before this in one of my videos in January. So to summarize this video, we do have the limit price of Pinery Residences, and at a glance you can see that the Pinery Residences does have a higher limit as compared to the Parktown. As a result of this, likelihood the prices for the Pinery Residences will be much higher as compared to the Parktown itself. On average, there is a chance that the prices for the Pinery Residences will be around 2,500 going up to 2,760 PSF in terms of the floor level and also facing for the Pinery Residences. So the entry price for Pinery Residences is actually very critical here because we want to know what is a safe price for you to enter into the Pinery Residences. So for a full video of that discussion in terms of the new launches, I've already ranked the top 10 new launches for the whole entire first half of 2026. So if you are curious about the video, then feel free to watch this video over here. And if you haven't already done so, help me to like and subscribe to this video and also my channel please, so that I can continue to value add and do weekly videos so that it benefits you and also buyers who are entering into the Singapore market today. So what are people actually buying to today if you're looking at the east side area? So what we do have here is the Treasure at Tampines, which is the blue color, and the yellow color will actually be the Pasir Ris 8. So we do have the Pasir Ris 8 condo and Treasure at Tampines condo. So at a glance, you can see that, wow, what happened to the price trend? What are people actually buying to today, and is there a value in terms of condos in the east side area? So if you're not familiar with these projects, let me just share with you a quick introduction. So Treasure at Tampines is actually launched by Sim Lian, and back then there was 2,203 units, so this is actually a mega project. And also for the Pasir Ris 8 is developed by Phoenix Residences developer, and also in total they have around 487 units. So there are a few obvious traits from this price trend over here. So number one, we can see that for people who buy on day one of the launch, when they are entering at the right entry price, they do make a profit over time. And number two, we can see is that even after they TOP, and for the Treasure in Tampines, they actually TOP around 2023, and for the Parktown, they actually TOP around 2025. You can see that the price continues to grow very steadily. So we do see that the price continue to be an uptrend. And why is it going at an uptrend? This is because what I shared with you, there is limited number of supply. So for people who want to stay around Tampines area, there's really no other newer and better developments that is also having a very efficient layout with a limited amount of renovation needed to done for the resale unit. And that's why a lot of buyers eventually they still go back to a newer development, which at the end of the day is Treasure at Tampines and also the Pasir Ris 8. So how much have the prices increased for these two developments? We can see at a glance for the Pasir Ris 8, the profit is around 27%, and this is around 478 PSF. So for Pasir Ris 8, you can see that the price have increased around 447 PSF, or total of 27%. And for Treasure and Tampines, the price have increased 35% at 478 PSF. So in total, they've increased more than 400 PSF, which is a very healthy amount of profits for new launches. And why is it so? What are people actually paying for resale today is because they want something that is newer, something that have a better layout, something that requires lesser renovation, and eventually they also prefer convenience and they are willing to pay a premium for it. So we can see that in the long run, there is still an increase in price because there is a demand a necessity for them to actually move into Treasure and Pasir Ris 8. So how much profits are the Treasure at Tampines owners and also the Pasir Ris 8 owners actually making? So this is at a glance. If you are purchasing a specific unit type and bedroom size, this is the amount of average profits that you can expect if you're entering into a new launch today that is at Tampines area. So does it mean that first day owners can definitely make money? So for the case of the east side condos like Treasure and Pasir Ris 8, yes, we do see that the owners are actually making money, and of course for the bigger size units that you buy, the average profits is also higher. So for the Treasure at Tampines, you can see that for the 1 bedroom the profits is averaging around 130k, 2 bedroom around 190k, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom and 5 bedroom, of course because they have a bigger size layout, multiplying with the increase in price. In total, the increase in price is around 370k for 3 bedroom, 520k for 4 bedroom, and 750k for the 5 bedroom, up to $1 million for the 5 bedroom Treasure at Tampines profits. And for Pasir Ris 8, we can see that the average amount of profits is also very healthy, 150 for the 1 bedroom, 330,000 for 2 bedroom, and over 500,000 for the 3 bedroom. So if you're someone thinking, back then I should have bought Treasure at Tampines, or back then I should have bought into Pasir Ris 8, I think you shouldn't be missing out for any east side new launches. You should really make a decision, because at a glance it might seem that it's very expensive and the prices are new high, but now that we have moved forward to 2025, you can see the number of profits that we have here, and the average numbers are very healthy for both Treasure at Tampines and also the Pasir Ris 8. So 2 questions that I have for you. If you're already a seasoned buyer in the market, some people will say something about new launches. So what do people actually say about the Treasure at Tampines and Pasir Ris 8 new launch, and how did it go from being expensive to like actually no choice, I will still upgrade? So what happened is that when their buyers are looking at these 2 projects, on day 1 they will say, the price is too expensive. But right now I do have clients looking at specifically Pasir Ris 8 and Treasure at Tampines only. They tell me there's no choice because the other new launches are even higher and higher. So prices will only get higher and higher because of the increased demand around the whole entire Tampines area is overpopulated, and that is why we do see that the prices for Pasir Ris and Treasure at Tampines, it continues to grow at a very healthy rate. This is the reason, and you should think about it. If you're someone looking today at the Pinery Residences, if Pinery Residences is too expensive, then what's your next choice? Is it Treasure or is it Pasir Ris 8? Are you same as a group 2 buyers whereby they're telling you no choice, I go to here? So definitely you should think about your next steps if you're thinking about either of these projects right now for your purchase. So is the Pinery Residences too expensive, or is the current Parktown Residences too expensive for a new launch today? So what we have in this chart is actually the price gap between resale. At that point of time, Treasure was a resale project and also Pasir Ris 8 was a new project. The price gap was around 14 to 15%. Then again, we do have the price gap between resale, which was Pasir Ris 8 after it actually TOP, and also Parktown, which is a new launch project. The price gap was around 21%. And now today we have seen that the prices for resale projects continue to grow. So are the prices slowly increasing without us noticing? As the prices grow for the Pasir Ris 8 and also the Treasure at Tampines, the gap between the new launch and resale have already dropped to 10%. That's because developers have not increased the price for the Parktown Residences. So right now we do see a smaller and smaller gap between the new launches because the resale are growing too fast. So does this mean that there's actually opportunity for Parktown and also for the Pinery Residences because the gap is actually getting smaller and smaller? So to summarize, if the gap should be around 14% or maybe the gap is around 20%, what will happen to the price for the Pinery Residences? What is actually a reasonable price for someone to enter into Pinery Residences today? So if it is a 15% price gap between the resale, which in this case is a Pasir Ris 8, then the price will be around $2,370 PSF, and if the gap is around 20%, the price will be around $2,470. So if there's any price gap above this amount, then you might want to consider, should you continue with the Pinery Residences, or can you consider a Parktown Residences if there's any available units, or are you going to consider the Treasure or the Pasir Ris 8? So these are your choices right now. Depending on the Pinery Residences price on day 1, then you can make a better decision, which is better choice for you based on the data we have here, because all these data that I'm showing you is actually live data. All you need to do is trust the data to make a right decision, so that you know that moving forward your property is actually safer and you also make profit at the end of the day. So this is the unit mix for the Pinery Residences. We have 2 bedroom, 2 plus study, 3 bedroom, 3 plus study, 4 bedroom, 4 plus study, and all the way up to 5 bedrooms. So exciting thing is that we have a lot of layouts over here. The only layout that we don't have is 1 bedroom, so we do have variation, and most of the layouts are actually catering to buyers that are buying for staying, because we can see that majority is a 3 bedroom at 35% unit mix. So I believe most of the layouts here that the owner are actually for own stay. So for those that are buying from 3 bedrooms and above, and for those investment, around 43% buying for investment. So I would say it's a very fair mix of investment and own stay buyers that the developers are looking at. So likelihood they will price this reasonably so that the buyers can accept the Pinery Residences prices. So these are all the prices around Pinery Residences. You can take a screenshot of this and take your time to understand these data and what it actually mean, because I spent hours trying to collate this so that you can understand if you are someone looking for investment, what should your rental yield be, and you are someone buying for own stay, what is a maximum price that you can potentially accept before you consider other projects, and also will it be safe for your buyer to exit in the future. So the first one that we have here is a 2 bedroom and 2 plus study. If you are someone buying for investment, right now the rental yield is around 3.1% for 2 bedroom and 3.6% for 2 plus study in Treasure. For Pasir Ris 8, the rental yield is slightly lower because Pasir Ris 8 is actually an integrated development and is around 2.85%. So the difference between these projects is that right now Treasure and Pasir Ris 8, they are actually non-harmonized, which means the square feet includes the aircon ledge, versus Parktown and Pinery Residences, we will be post-harmonized and the layout could be more efficient. So if you are not familiar with any of these projects, let me just summarize for you. Treasure at Tampines is actually one of the mega projects with more than 2,000 units, and it's actually around 10 minutes walk away from the CMA MRT station. So I wouldn't say it's located very conveniently, but there's a lot of facilities, and this is actually the beauty of the Treasure at Tampines. And for Pasir Ris 8, it's an integrated development with Moss bus interchange and also the MRT station, a total of 487 units, followed by Parktown, which is a mega integrated development. So being a mega integrated development, there is also more facilities, and also there will be more convenience because it's directly linked to the MRT station for Tampines North and also the bus interchange, which will be more convenient for the owners staying in the Parktown Residences in the future. So there is also average amount of profits, which I've shared with you earlier for the Treasure and Parktown, which you can use to analyze based on the layout that you're buying, what's the estimated profits that you can get. And for Parktown Residences, when it was first launched, in fact, we do see more own stay buyers buying first. So it was a 3 bedrooms, 4 bedroom and also 2 bedroom that sell out first without the study layout. So a non-study layout is first preferred, then the study layout in terms of the Parktown Residences buying trend. So right now there's also units available for Parktown, and these are the starting from prices for the Parktown. So if you're considering Pinery Residences today, I would highly recommend you to also take a look at Parktown first, so that you can see on the launch day of Pinery Residences, should you consider a Parktown Residences first or Pinery Residences based on the pricing of the layout that you're looking at. And of course, we do see that there is no more 2 bedroom or 2 plus study for the Parktown, which means for investors looking at a more central location, definitely there is demand for the Tampines central location. So if they don't have any other projects to buy from, likelihood they will be considering the Pinery Residences. So going back to the 3 bedroom and 3 plus study, so the rental yield is around 3.15% for the Treasure, and also around 3.3 and 3.2% for the Pasir Ris 8. 4 bedroom rental yield around 2.93% for Treasure and 3.74% for Pasir Ris 8. And for 5 bedroom, currently there's only transactions for the Treasure, and for 5 bedroom, the rental yield will be around 3%. Based on these comparable prices, if you're curious about what is a maximum price or quantum that you should look out for Pinery Residences, feel free to drop me a PM and I'll actually share with you what is my expected prices and also walkaway price for different layouts based on all these numbers over here. Because when you are buying into Pinery Residences, am I right to say you do not want to make a loss? So at the end of the day, buyers will also be looking in terms of the quantum, and which is actually a reasonable entry for them, and that's why for Pinery Residences, price is very important for you to manage before you actually enter. So there are specific prices that will attract specific pools of buyers. You need to ask what is your future buyers. If you're looking to know what is the specific price to consider for Pinery Residences, I'll share more with you in the private chat itself at 94314533 over here. So these will be the estimated prices for Pinery Residences. So as I shared with you, there are a few different layouts. So from the smallest 2-bedroom being 624 square feet, largest 2+ study being 700 square feet, then C1 to C7 for the 3-bedroom layouts, smaller size being 807 square feet, larger size being 1055 square feet. We also have 4-bedroom D1, D2 layouts followed by 5 bedrooms. So likelihood the price will be ranging from 2,300 to 2,500. Of course, the developer could price it more attractively at 2,200 or below. So this will be the price range. At this point of time of filming, the estimated prices are not confirmed. However, you may drop me a text for the confirmed pricing of the Pinery Residences. So for the preview date, the preview of the Pinery Residences will be on 14 March and the launch date of Pinery Residences will be 28 March. So this will actually be after Chinese New Year and also after the River Modern new launch. So if you're looking at just Tampines new launch itself, likelihood these dates will be confirmed, and do contact me now if you want a VVIP preview to show flat in the Pinery Residences, or you also like to take a tour together to the Parktown Residences. I'm happy to show you around to these two projects together. So I think at this point of time you might be really confused. Should you be looking at resale project, or should you be looking at post-launch project, which is Parktown Residences, or should you be considering a new project that is Pinery Residences? And at this point of time, we do not know what is the pricing for Pinery Residences. If it's attractively, what's a good price for you to consider? And because there's so many layouts, even for the 3-bedroom, there's 7 layouts, which is the preferred layout that you should consider. You should definitely speak to a trusted agent. And at this point of time of filming, the draft layouts are not out yet, so I will not be analyzing the layouts in these videos. However, layouts are as important as pricing and also as important as quantum. So if you want analysis of the layouts itself, it's very important for you to contact me so that I can share with you more about the layout the moment it's actually released from the developer to us. So before I share with you a summary of the whole entire video, please help me to like this video and also subscribe to my channel so that I can actually do more weekly videos for you and also share more information that are helpful for buyers that are looking into the Singapore property market today. To summarize, I think Pinery Residences is something that is very attractive because they have direct access to the Tampines West MRT station and be very convenient for you to go to work or also go to the malls at the Tampines MRT station. And there's a lot of amenities around this mature estate because once you reach the MRT station for the Tampines, you can go to the Tampines 1, Century Square, Tampines Mall, and also nearby Tampines Hub. So there's more than enough facilities, which makes it a lot more family friendly. If you are someone looking for schools that is also reputable like the St. Hilda schools, or you have kids that are considering the Tampines Polytechnic, this is definitely a development that you should not be missing out. And also most importantly, a lot of people do not know that, but Tampines is the most populated town in the whole entire Singapore. So there's over demand from HDB upgraders and also families that are staying around the area, but there is a lack of supply of condos that are in Tampines and also the east side area. So I've already shared with you the case study about Treasure at Tampines and also Pasir Ris 8. Why in the long run there is still price increment is because of the lack of supply in the area. And also if you are someone that feels that the Pinery Residences is too expensive from 2,300 to 2,500 PSF, you maybe won't like Pinery Residences because there are other cheaper options from the resale out there. So definitely you should also start considering your resale options to weigh between resale option and also a new launch. At the end of the day, is it worth spending more money on renovation, and also what are the different layouts and size that are available for the resale markets? Because sometimes if you're looking at a specific bigger layout, maybe there's no more supply in the market and the resale owners are already making more than $1 million profit. You need to consider that as part of your plan. Are you okay with the owner have already made more than $1 million profit for the 5-bedroom at the Treasure? Also, one thing you might want to consider is what if there's nearby competition from ECs, which includes the Tenet, Oral, and also the Rivier. So this could be some consideration. So if you don't buy Pinery Residences, you definitely need to think what do you want to consider next, because Tampines is an area that not just you love. A lot of people love this whole entire Tampines Tampines area and they're proud of staying in Tampines. So you need to discuss the strategy for you moving forward. So once again, the preview will be on 14 March 2026 and the sofa is actually around Tampines Avenue 7 over here. So you might want to think, are you making the same mistake as you did for Pinery Residences with the Treasure at Tampines and also the Pasir Ris 8 and also the Parktown, when you think that, oh, the price is too high, it's not worth it to enter into these projects? So the real question you should really ask yourself, is Pinery Residences overpriced? What's the reasonable price to enter into Pinery Residences, and do you have any alternatives? So 5 years from now on, if you don't enter into Pinery Residences, what will happen to your property? Is your property actually helping you to grow at a steady rate? So these are the questions that maybe you want to think about it, and when you have time, then feel free to contact me at my number. So I'll share with you more in our chat itself about the layout for the Pinery Residences since it's not out yet, and also the confirmed price metrics once the developer have an estimated price for the Pinery Residences. So I'll see you more again in next week's video. Thank you so much and bye bye.